And we're live. Hello everyone, this is the Ninja DC, joining again with another React video, this time from MLP Season 8, Episodes 14 and 15, because they released them together, even though they are not connected. Joining me again is a herd of bronies.
Hello, all you ponies. I'm a herd of bronies. Welcome back to the second half of Season 8. I shouldn't say welcome back. I should say welcome. Starting with Episode 14.
Mm-hmm. All right. Next up, Carlos.
Yeah. So, yeah. You can call me Nova. You can call me Gunmetal Gator. This is me gonna be doing some reactions to My Little Pony Season 8 second half. So, I'm just hoping for like a better showing, just like how the last episode 10 onwards was for Season 8. Hopefully, they might be able to continue on with that train. So, come on, Season 8. Don't disappoint to be like Season 6.
Next up, Day Lover.
Hello, I'm Day Lover. Boop, 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 boop. Well done.
Short. Somebody should make up for that.
And second.
Well, my daddy left home when I was 3, and he didn't leave much to mind me, just this old guitar and empty bottle of booze. Now, I don't blame him because he run and hid, but the meanest thing that he ever did was before he left, he named me Second Opinion.
Wow.
Well, he must have thought that this was quite a joke, and it got a lot of laughs from a lot of folks. It seemed that I'd fight my whole life through. Some gal would giggle, and I'd get red. Some guy'd laugh, and I'd bust his head. I tell you, life ain't easy for a boy named Second Opinion. Well, I grew up quick, and I grew up mean. My fists got hard, my wits got keen. I'd roam from town to hide my name. But I made a vow to the moon and stars that I'd search the honky-tonks and bars, and I'd kill that man who'd give me that awful name. Well, it was Pittsburgh in mid-July. Just the town and my throat was dry. I thought I'd stop to have myself a brew. Had an old saloon on street of mud. There at table, dealing suds at the dirty, mangy dog who named me Second Opinion. Well, I knew that snake was my own sweet dad from a worn-out picture that my mother had, and I knew that scar on his cheek and his evil eye. He was big and bent and gray and old, and I looked at him and my blood ran cold, and I said, "My name is Second. How do you do? Now you're gonna die." Well, I hit him hard right between the eyes, and he went down, but to my surprise, he come up with a knife and cut off a piece of my ear. But I busted a chair right across his teeth, and we crashed through the wall and into the street, kicking and gouging in the mud and the blood and the beer. Well, I tell you, I fought tougher, man, but I really can't remember when. He kicked like a mule and bit like a crocodile. I heard him laugh, and then I heard him cuss, and he went for his gun, and I pulled mine first, and he stood there looking at me, and I saw him smile. He said, "Son, this world is rough and tough. If a man's gonna make it, he's gotta be tough." And I knew I wouldn't be there to help you along. So I give you that name, and I said goodbye, and I knew you'd have to get tough or die, and it's the name that helped make you strong. He said, "Now, you just fought one hell of a fight, and I know you hate me, and you got the right to kill me now, and I wouldn't blame you if you do.
Wow.
But you ought to thank me before I die for the gravel in the guts and the spit in your eye, because I'm the son of a bitch that named you Second Opinion." I got all choked up and threw down my gun, and he called me Papa, and I called him my pa, and he called me his son, and I came away with a different point of view. And I set my sights on a new challenge, teaching bronies that their show when the show's subpar. And let me tell you, that makes being named Second Opinion look easy.
Yay.
But I think about him now and then, every time I try and every time I win. And I think if I ever have a son, I'm going to name him Bill. Thank you.
Yay.
How long did it take you to write
Not Second
that?
Opinion, only I get to have that.
It's actually it's based off a song.
Oh, okay.
Yes, it is.
It's like
So is it over yet?
yeah, it's like Mary Sue or isn't that the actual original name and song?
I believe it's a boy named Sue or something like that.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Everyone ready for MLP though?
Yes.
MLP.
It's been so long.
Absolutely.
Actually, really hasn't
Lots of pain.
Actually, it really hasn't been that long because we never got around to that mid-season discussion video just because it's sort of just popped up so early in August.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
All right. All right, if everyone's ready, press play in 3.
Yeah.
Is everyone ready?
Mhm.
Yeah.
All right, press play in 3, 2, 1, play.
Hey, Spike.
It's the students. They're back.
Hey, we're doing this again.
They're all legendary magical artifacts.
Wait.
Yay, items. More items to the collection.
Same ones as last season.
Or season 5.
This is the amulet of Aurora, the talisman of Mirage.
Oh, that's really different.
Ixler, the crown of Grover, Knuckerbocker's shell, and Clover the Clever's cloak. And
Ooh.
not
Ah.
Celestia gifted these to our school.
Oh, hey! Hey, look, it's our pony from season 8, episode 12.
We'll learn
Ooh.
all of them with a
Oh, yeah.
spell ranger hunt.
Scavenger.
Okay.
Is that a pony thing? It's a magical
Nah.
scavenger hunt. Each of you
Okay.
will try to find where the school artifacts
Hey,
are.
look at her. Just look at the teacher and her assistant fly together.
All of you have to make a spell that can destroy a city. It should be easy.
Yeah.
Any better than that?
You've been underwater a long
Oh.
Sounds like you're our first pair.
Ah.
Oh.
They'll make great teams.
Shipping. The shipping.
Pony glowing.
Oh.
Oh.
Da, da, da. Magical emergency.
Yeah. Emergencies.
Wait, you all
What?
on this
What?
quest too? It must be a really
Oh no.
terribly far away.
Yeah,
A
my.
new villain or
It's the
something.
second movie.
Just get
Yeah.
it. It'll take days.
Do y'all know what this means? There won't be any teachers left to run.
Oh my god. Looks like
Substitute.
looks like the brain was right all along.
Minimum wage.
All right. So it's like everybody going to have to pick out their substitute.
I used to want
But I think this song is too short. Don't you?
Yeah.
faithful and strong, sharing
Let's have it be more anime. Or even
This guy. I actually think it's too long, gets old, and they pick the least interesting part of the song to be the
Oh,
intro.
come
It
on.
just doesn't have a good start.
Should we send our students home? I say we take them with us.
no. Oh.
Of my friendship quilting class. I think not. All of those unfinished seams.
Haven't you heard of quilting on the go?
Just
Problem
Yeah.
we don't even know how long we'll be
get
gone.
back
Don't worry, every pony.
together. Is that?
I already have a 70-point plan in place for this very situation.
Oh, it's the
Wow.
season editor who wrote this.
You want me to be head mare?
Yes.
Oh.
You're a good leader. and
Well
I
then.
trust you to run this school exactly.
My
as I
town 2-pound.
No.
Don't make a second village.
This is Saddle Row Review.
Which is why I prepared everything you need.
I don't know if it's Saddle Road Review.
Well, she can make it like a equal school now.
Salvenger hunt. Dining on menus for the next 6 months.
Wow.
The next 6 months?
You're not really gonna be gone that long.
Waka waka waka.
Ah.
Well,
Covered in my files.
she doesn't know how long she's going for,
Why
so
not put him in charge? No.
no, yeah.
Being a princess for 2
Ah. Call back.
That's what you really want. I
See, we have
promise I won't let
pressed
you
that
down.
button.
I knew
Okay, so how about everybody else that needs to be replaced?
We'll find out, I guess.
We go wrong.
Large lecture hall classes.
Everything.
But I'm really glad like Spike has
Yeah.
assumed the advisor role.
Yeah, because Spike likes Verity and stuff.
Discord!
Oh,
How about that?
Discord. Hello.
Don't you?
Aww.
Aw.
Lord, what a nice surprise.
Looks like Discord is discombobulated.
Invited to the grand opening. Friends and family day, baccalaureate. I hadn't noticed.
Well,
Oh.
at least you're here now.
Do you stay in touch?
Why are
Not really.
Are you like
established.
Maleficent, or are you going to like
To accomplice.
make a spell on the firstborn child now because you want
You
new
make your own
island?
rules. Now, who better at that than me?
What rules?
Oh yeah.
Got a point.
Starlight is in charge now.
Really? I thought there must be some mistake.
Mm.
Nope. Twilight picked me for the job, and she left pretty detailed instructions for me to follow.
Ooh.
I'm sure that she will
All by
find
yourself
a few
for 6
tiny
teachers.
Suggestions.
Oh no!
Item 1. Gravity is optional.
This is a pretty random thing for Discord to care about.
Is an
That still looks amazing though.
What the hell?
Item 3.
Oh, what?
Not gonna happen.
I don't know what that is, but like,
So thanks.
Yeah.
But no thanks.
Oh,
oh,
this might be a better conflict
it's
than
on.
any episode involving Twilight versus Discord.
hope so. Oh, well.
When we play ogres and oubliettes and he puts that many E's and really?
Don't worry, Spike. Discord and I are old Save Equestria buddies.
Oh,
So that's
Somebody in
what
the show says, "Don't worry. What is the first thing you should do?"
Word.
Oh god! It's flying to the sun! Burn! Burn!
Okay. I hid the artifacts for the scavenger hunt and ordered school supplies for the week. All you have to worry about is teaching class.
Thanks, Spike. Maybe we will get through this okay.
That sounds nice, yeah.
Well, at least it's a starlight.
And maybe
What?
it'll be like every other time.
Waving cactus man!
Yeah.
Come in, come in. You'll want the Twitter mics out.
What?
Twitter mites.
Oh yeah.
Oh
those-
no! No!
Oh,
no.
Max.
Yeah.
Dream episode.
Photos at your desk. Imagine what Twilight would say. Oh, how could you, Starlight?
Wow, really, Discord?
Showed me complete.
Oh, hey, it's one of those episodes where
So that's where that came from.
Supply for the teachers' lounge.
Mm.
Oh god.
Oh no, jeez. Oh, poor Spike. Oh.
We'll
Dang.
take it from here, Discord. Go relax. Have a cup of tea.
pipe one for his nose.
Yeah.
Oh, some thanks for all my help. And after I hired all those substitute teachers.
Oh
for you-
god.
Okay. Who did you hire, Discord? Flim and Flam?
And it was next on our
No, it's going to be.
Oh, there you go.
I guarantee the
is it-
substitute teachers are going to be
Teachers did you
clones.
hire?
Is it gonna be
Yeah, that's true, yeah.
the sludge?
No,
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Go, yeah.
Yeah, go Yak.
Be my friend.
Oh
I don't buy it.
Be my friend.
no! Oh.
Pudding, that's more convincing.
Uh-oh.
Be my friend.
Well, you really unleash your Fluttershy there, Fiona.
Yeah.
How Twilight teaches friendship.
No.
Craig?
Ah. Well, he's
Okay, yeah. I
Gosh,
guess
when's the
like
last-
this is
when's the
listening
last time he's had a
to,
voice troll?
Oh, slice of
friends.
oh, I see his douchiness has turned up.
Now it's too hot.
What?
I get it, because he's cranky, so this is something he would do.
You call yourself
No.
That is definitely not how Twilight teaches friendship.
That was not as funny as the Iron
No,
Will one, I gotta
no.
say.
Get away from that bush!
You hired a tree as a teacher?
schedule was
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Waka, waka, waka.
So much for the spike reference.
Oh
It's a dragon sneeze tree.
no! Oh, that's amazing. It looks good, her fire.
Oh. Oh my god.
Callbacks.
Mm.
It's,
Oh
Ah.
my god. It's such a reference.
Hey.
Yeah.
Waka waka waka.
You seem like you're in over your head.
Waka, waka, waka.
I'd be so disappointed with how you're ruining. I mean, running.
See, isn't it so?
It's
Conflicting.
really, it's kind of even worse. It's kind of
No,
even
it's
worse
switching.
than what's been going on in the other Twilight and Discord episodes.
Discord.
Yeah.
This is all your fault.
This is so not tedious and hijinksy.
I feel weird. This, I'm not hating this as much as the other bad Discord ones, like that. Like I still feel this is a step up from the Discord Twilight episodes, but
Yeah.
Better than what about Discord so far?
It's just like the conflict is the weakest part of the episode.
yeah, it's just sort of like a lot of random thing, like events with no real. It doesn't feel connected properly.
And what he does, even to ponies or dragons he cares about.
Oh, really? He did it to you too, Spike?
Twilight, I'd run her school right, and I keep that promise, no matter.
Oh,
Nah.
No matter what.
even if it means going to the extremes.
The balloon.
I know there's been
Oh!
adjustments since
Spitfire?
the trip.
What are you doing with the rest of?
New teachers.
This is weird.
Now everything
Well,
should
then,
go smoothly.
actually, who I was thinking was going to be teachers if it made sense, yeah.
Yeah, but like Spitfire has no relation to Starlight or any of those other ponies.
Yeah, Spitfire has nothing to do with anything. This seems like it wants to be a
Spitfire
callback
can
episode.
take over Rainbow Dash's classes.
Oh my god. It's time.
Oh
Call me the greatest
Yeah.
no! What? Who's ringing?
So inconsistent.
Lord.
Float tight.
Wow.
I better take this.
Banana phone. Banana phone.
Oh, he did not. And what did you say?
Wow, cell phone humor in a magical setting.
Discord.
Oh, yeah.
Why are you here?
Why, I'm a student of friendship, of course.
Oh
As you know,
god.
enough-
It's like the CMC, Plonica.
Psychology.
No fruit calls in my
Fruit
class.
calls.
What? There was a phone in
Is
there.
the most important element of friendship. So today, I, the great and powerful Trixie, will put on a magic show.
Ooh, that sounds good.
Time for edutainment. Hey, hey, fine swine. Hey, oh,
Oh, Trixie has a history with that.
Yeah.
Discord!
That face on Trixie was hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
banana phone.
Hello?
Banana phone.
A long distance.
Like,
Why does this not work? Are we doing Buck Ball season again?
maybe.
Actually, we just finished Professor Spitfire's workout.
Sounds like some pony.
This is literally torture for the students.
Oh no!
Back.
Discord. Oh.
Hey, remember when people said there was a problem in the season 7 finale and it was continuity?
Maybe.
Friendship is about honesty. So believe me when I say we're not stopping.
There are no breaks
Wow.
in friendship.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh!
Fiona, can't run faster!
Oh no. Oh.
Go, Starlight.
Yeah.
Discord, that's enough. Endangering students crosses the line. I don't know why you're trying to ruin this school, but it stops.
Okay,
now.
Starlight.
Ooh.
I wouldn't be so sure.
Discord now. Uh-oh.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Take it easy, Starlight.
Remember?
Yeah.
Acting like it.
Okay.
She's right, Discord. What's your problem?
My problem? How is the fact that Twilight decided to put an incompetent, power-hungry unicorn in charge of her
Oh. That's low. Oh! Super Saiyan comment.
Goku vs. Superman flashbacks.
Don't worry.
about
I just
that.
banished him from school grounds for
What?
Oh, really? You can do that?
What?
Yeah.
That
'Cause-
probably made things worse.
That's insane. How powerful is she?
Remember that one thing.
Yeah, not strong enough.
Terrible job
Oh.
as head mayor. No, you haven't.
Right. Well, I mean, the rules on like what Discord's vulnerable to, what rules he has to follow, and which ones he doesn't. It's
Mm.
basically plot convenient.
Figure that out after the Spellbinger
But
hunt. Come on.
still though.
Don't know. This is one of those episodes where
You'll need to use the artifact's history
The
to find
conflict
where they're hidden in the
That's a
castle.
good
doesn't point
idea.
to any one particular direction. It's just kind of like
Shield to keep track of your
the
score.
quote-unquote
What?
interest is in where the heck it's going at all.
I'll pass out the shields.
Oh,
Ready,
this is nice.
set, Spellbinger hunt!
Woo!
We can use Twilight's observatory to watch the teams.
Ah.
Everything's calm. Too calm.
Yeah. I'm just saying,
The
like,
silence before the right, yeah.
Oh god.
Ooh.
Not Castlemania flashbacks.
Yay.
Any enemies that saw him put down their weapons in peace. I think his artifact must be
Ooh.
one of these suits of armor.
That's
looks
actually
like
a
it's right there.
clever hiding spot, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm guessing that one.
Ooh.
One down, 5 to go.
Ah.
Aw, Celis and Smolder found their first artifact.
Yay.
Wait, what's that?
Oh god.
Yeah.
I don't think that's part of the Spellbinger hunt.
Okay. So the items make the stuff
No.
come alive?
no, it's
No,
Discord.
It's Discord.
Really?
It's Discord.
There's no way like she
What?
has the power to banish Discord.
But at least
Yeah.
one of them
And I just saw like an unreformed changeling picture.
Woo.
Ooh.
Boy, the power of cheating.
score.
Well, yeah.
They say it's
Cheating is magic.
Grover used it to become the first
Wait a minute, is that the thing they lost in the Gilda episode?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
No, it's a chalice.
Whoa.
Wow. All these modern references.
Ooh. Ooh.
What?
Ah. Oh. Oh, that's clever. Discord.
Yeah, that's definitely Discord.
Yeah.
This is not good.
I thought you banished him from the school.
Only his body, apparently.
Oh, yeah.
Ah. But isn't he supposed to be a spirit? Isn't that breaking a bit of continuity from before? Oh god, my head is gonna break.
Well, he does take maybe not so much. Maybe his body is just something he takes for the heck of it because he's a spirit of chaos.
The shell of Knuckerbox. It's like a seashell.
How long did it take you to think of that name?
Call it Dragon. There's a sweet poem in a book about it. Climb to the heights with dragon flight.
Ooh.
Like flight of stairs.
Yeah.
Yuna, take pony word for it.
Oh. Oh.
What's happening?
Huh?
Yuna don't know. Yuna do know. Yuna not like Spellbinger.
Oh, poor Yuna, yeah.
It's Discord, the unfriendly jerk ghost. Hey, who wants Scooby-Doo in their pony?
Yeah. Who wants a little of Scooby-Doo? Oh.
Every creature, stop! The school is haunted!
Mm.
It's not haunted, it's Discord.
Said Mayor Starlight. Hey, look, I won the Spellventure hunt. Well done, me. Now, what's my prize?
Detention.
Wow.
Well, that's disappointing.
Discord, you can't keep messing up the school.
On the contrary, I think I rather can and will.
Mm.
Then I have just one thing to say to you.
Well, do go on.
I'm sorry.
Oh?
What?
Okay.
I had to stop thinking like a head mayor and start thinking like a guidance counselor to finally understand. You felt left out.
What?
I don't know what you're.
What?
No pony ever invited you to the school. And when you offered to help, I didn't listen. I was so worried about doing things Twilight's way, I didn't stop to think about being a friend. I'd like to apologize for that. And offer you the job of vice head.
What?
Really?
And everyone has so much realistic reactions.
Where the hell did that come from?
I
Yeah.
don't know.
I suppose I can find some time in my busy schedule to help you out, but I will need my own office, expense account, parking space.
You're new to the world of education.
Spike, best bird ever.
Right?
But then we miss out on all those delightful misadventures.
Hey,
Wow.
watch the wings!
Now, Vice Head Nair Discord, if you'll help me get the Spelvenger hunt back in order.
Everything is re-hidden. Oh, well, with a few surprises.
Wow, really, yeah.
Oh.
Discord.
Oh.
I can't believe you tricked us into going.
Oh.
Wow.
Soon.
That ties that in.
At least we got to go spelunking in that really creepy cave with all those eyeless worms.
Eyeless worms.
Oh.
I'm so glad Pony's back.
Y'all get the feeling we missed something?
Maybe
Thanks
just
for taking
something.
care of the school, Starlight. It was a challenge, but I think things turned out.
Absolutely.
Guess this means you're not Vice Head Mayor anymore.
Oh, pooh. I just ordered this car.
And
That's your closer.
not a good episode.
That's your closer.
Wow, that was a bad closer, yeah.
Yeah.
I feel it's weird that I still think this is better than the. I
Then
don't
what?
know. I think.
What about Discord?
Yeah. What about Discord? Yeah, but I feel this is not. I feel it's on par with Three's a Crowd.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. It definitely has entertainment going for it.
Oh yeah.
It has some,
Yeah.
but I would give the
Some,
edge
yeah.
to Three's a Crowd. I got at least as much entertainment out of that, and a more cohesive plot on top of it.
Yeah, I think that's what I just sort of agree with too, is because this episode sort of seemed all over the place, and the main issue I think I have to amend my thing. I don't like how they wasted. I remember I complained about Twilight Discord episodes. They just need to stop doing them. They seem to just try to copy and paste Starlight.
Twilight.
Yeah, they just try to switch it out, and those episodes still really don't work. Discord actually has some good chemistry with other characters. That's Fluttershy has proved with his interactions with Big Mac and Spike. It shows you can work with other characters, but the Twilighty or Starly, they don't really work.
Well, I mean, I guess there's something they all have in common. They try to make him into sort of an anti-hero menace, and I mean, well, I'm a firm believer that anything can be done well, but they don't seem to have. They almost, as much as I lash out at formulas, sometimes it seems like they haven't really thought of one that works for this.
Well, the thing is, I feel they keep trying to force a Q Picard relationship between Twilight and Discord, and they sort of are switching, trying to experiment with Starlight and Discord. They try to do that relationship but it just doesn't really work because I know people say Discord is Q. Discord is really a different character on his own, so trying to force him into a similar interaction just doesn't really feel natural half the time.
Yeah, it's basically like the curse about Discord episodes. It's people always seem to overlook Discord when it comes to him and his bad run episodes. Whenever they say oh, Spike has the worst episode, I'm always hyped for a Discord episode. And I'm just excuse me a moment while I go stare at that hypocrisy.
Well, I'd say the thing with the Discord episodes, even when they're bad, they at least have entertaining animation and all that because he's Discord. What about Discord? Which not what about. So that was a Fluttershy.
That episode did everything under the sun to go nowhere.
Wait, was that the one with the orange joke, or was that the one with the
orange joke?
All right, I want to make sure because didn't want to confuse it because Make Me Friends to Keep Discord. Yeah, that was the one. That one was actually good. Make Me Friends Keep Discord was the old one. What about Discord? That episode was just painful.
Until that came along, Discord was almost on a can't miss streak. I mean, there was Three's a Crowd, but even that was just like okay.
A fluke.
You want that, and I mean, it wasn't like God. It still had. I feel like it had its entertainment value and a fairly cohesive plot. Like I said, it just wasn't. It just wasn't the high standard we'd come to expect from him.
No. Like, I want more like August and Oubliettes. Isn't that what it's called?
Ogres and Oubliettes.
Mm.
But I mean, like I guess the Discord conflicts. I mean, well, heck, we saw in Make New Friends but Keep Discord that can work, but it's like they keep deciding he cares about really petty stuff, and and he's able to make the characters feel bad or make the characters insecure over these petty things he cares about for equally petty, stupid reasons. And I mean, it feels more like a hijinks gimmick fest than it does like a story or like something that couldn't have been done with any characters, let alone these ones.
I feel the episodes that just try to use Discord as like a chaotic event that like they don't necessarily they want to use chaos, not really Discord. Don't like those episodes really don't work anymore. Like because remember, the best episodes so far Discord always deal with his own interpersonal conflict. Like
in the forefront, forefront. Discord and Hearth.
I just want to go down the list. Like, making new friends would Keep Discord. Like the conflict was him dealing with the fact that like he has to share friends. Like that's his very interpersonal conflict. It's not because he's being. He created conflict later on, but that was like these sort of side conflicts. Like he was creating chaos. That was his main conflict was dealing with the concept of sharing Fluttershy as a friend.
They made it about fun, like about just like good time or just sort of fun gags and not these tedious hey, no, this is totally a legit conflict. This is not just totally not just tedious hijinks. I guess long story short, Make New Friends but Keep Discord basically knew what it was and what it wasn't.
Well, I'm just trying to go down to like Make New Friends but Keep Discord was an interpersonal conflict. Next one I think was Ogres and Ogrettes, which showed like
Dungeons and Discord. It was Dungeons and Discord.
Yeah, that's that was a game. I forgot what it was.
Yeah, Dungeons and Discord. Yeah, that one was like him dealing with like trying to make new friends, sort of just actually create his own new friends. I'm excluding like any sort of like finale interaction because that's new finales are always everything.
Discord and Harmony.
Discord and Harmony was like him, was about him trying to not be Discord because he was dealing with like fear of like losing his friendship with Fluttershy. Like all these things are basically personal, emotional conflicts with Discord himself. They aren't built around Discord just creating chaos. Like Discord being Discord is not the conflict.
No.
Like it's Discord's interpersonal conflict that is the issue, sort of thing. Where it's like with Three's a Crowd. What about Discord? Or let me see, that was an orange one. Yeah, that was one. What about Discord?
And this one,
this one, Discord just creating chaos is sort of the conflict, and it just it's just a mess. Like I mean, that's I feel like this episode I feel is the worst at like just being like there's no like continuous plot line. It just feels like a lot of gags that are sort of roped together loosely. I would still say in my mind it's still better than What About Discord because that episode is like this. It takes some very weird logic jumps from like multiple different characters. And this one, it's just like the only one that's really sort of acting weird is Discord, and you sort of have to give some weird leeway with Discord. Like that's just part of his character.
And also the fact that like he was sort of like punishing Starlight when in actuality it's like Starlight didn't do anything. The fault lies in Twilight for not inviting Discord to begin with. And I'm like,
I think another issue reminded me of another issue I had is the way I feel like at least this episode was sort of pitched was like at least I think some early synopsis and all that, and like other things. Like the idea was like the conflict wasn't that he was upset that he wasn't invited at the end or something like that. He was upset because Because like, oh, Twilight made her the vice principal instead of me. Like that was a main conflict, and that sort of made sense. And like it didn't make sense because like Discord, that's a sort of little petty thing that Discord would get upset about, like to sort of toy around with. Like it's like, oh, I should have been like the one in charge when Twilight is like because I'm the because I'm a Lord of Chaos. Of course, I should be next in line or something like that. That feels like a very Discord thing to do. Him just being like, it's like, oh, I can't believe like I was never invited for 9 months for this to come here to this school. It's like, so let me just send them off on a random adventure, then come and bother Starlight. It's like, what?
Yeah, the
They
moral
sent
was
him off
kind of
on
like
rep-
that too. It was like, I mean, they did the oh, I have to do it like Twilight. They did that a couple of times, but I mean, they went back and forth with a few things, and then at the end, like when we find out what the moral is at the end, it's like they just kind of pulled it out of a hat. It's what the way they phrase it, the theory of the whole thing, like that's all well and good, but I mean, there's about 3, 4 other morals they could have inserted there about as well.
Yeah. Also feel like it was a little like meh.
Starlight, don't use force to solve your problems. Like.
Well, I actually felt like that was valid, yeah, for her to actually.
No, it wasn't.
I mean,
come on, he was like,
is.
be like, he was
I'm a Starlight
too much.
hater.
He was too much.
I feel like it was like the way when she blasted Discord, like that sort of took away from the character. Not just like that she did, but like when she did, she wasn't doing it when the students were in danger with that one thing. Like that would have been, I felt more justified.
That's true.
Yeah, you can't do this anymore. Zap, he's gone. Like it's like no, she zapped her. She zapped him away when he like sort of poked fun at her. Like that just felt like that felt like it took down her character a little few notches.
But I think
mean,
like
that wasn't
her
the right
glass
thing
was
to
getting
do,
full, slowly getting fuller, and then
I can understand why she would do that. I mean, like I have kind of been there, admittedly, where it's like, okay, you're trying to make sure you're like in control of this situation or that, and then it's when somebody like starts to, or when it gets worse instead of better, you bear down even harder sometimes.
Yeah.
I mean, well, I guess it's not like it wasn't the right choice. It doesn't make her look good, but I mean, I guess like, I don't know, I'm not sure if I'd say that that's like bad character writing per se.
No, I don't.
No, like I said, like the issue, like again, if she would have zapped him when he was like still messing with students, I felt it would have made sense. Like it was basically after he like stopped messing with students, it was just like poking fun at Starlight that like she finally zapped him away, which just felt like.
But like he also said something like that was really hurting her.
Oh, the power hunger.
You
Well,
know,
yeah, I guess you could make the argument.
The other things was like just for fun, and she knew like he wouldn't hurt the students like for real, right? I guess, but calling her like that's not okay. Yeah.
But that just felt petty on like her part. It's like oh yeah, sick a giant bugbear after students. It's like scold him, like make fun about your evil dictatorial past. Like you get banished.
Well, she also like blasted away the bugbear, yeah. So she do care about like the students getting hurt, yeah.
I don't think she's saying that she doesn't care, though. To be fair.
Yeah, but just before, like, Yuna got stung by the bugbear, she zapped it away. So, like, I don't think, like, they were in any danger. And, no, I don't believe that.
Well, I mean, like, that's the other, like, the episode's intent can differ from what common logic would say makes sense in what it actually does.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, but I actually
that's a complicated way of saying that. Like what the episode intended is not always necessarily what comes across.
Yeah, but I actually think it's in character for Starlight because like she has been working so hard and like trying to get rid of her background and all of that. Yeah, and proving herself so much. Yeah, so with like Discord being questioning that, and also like putting the students in danger. Yeah, I think like that was enough to tip everything. Yeah.
Of course.
But
yeah.
I'm actually surprised like she could banish him just a little bit. Yeah.
I mean, it's basically, it's like Starlight's basically like the magical MacGuffin girl that just
Yeah.
has all sorts of magic, even having like Twilight levels of unicorn beam power from like Twilight's kingdom.
Yeah.
You just have to come to accept it.
Someone's got to compare the blast in this episode with the blast that Twilight had in the season 4 finale part 2.
Yeah,
against Tyrek.
Yeah, but the thing is, like she said, like I still didn't mind the power too much, just because, like she's at the end of the day she failed to banish Discord. It's like I get the sense that like Discord, like he did the ghost thing just to sort of screw with her more.
Yeah,
Like,
that's true.
Like I was like, because it's Discord, he's like only the elements of harmony have been proven to be able to beat him. Oh, that and like Fluttershy friendship, but yeah, that's
our story.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Let's see. But I guess that's to get some closing thoughts before we move on to the next episode.
So here's mine. Where the hell did Starlight's revelation come from?
Yeah.
You can't
I
tell
wanna know
me
that
that
too.
she suddenly has a change of thought behind the scenes. That just doesn't work. You have to show that.
It's literally like it comes out as like some sort of grandiose reveal, like, oh, we put these little hints and such, like if like Discord was acting like a certain way, and then I'm like, I don't think we were even given any hints.
I had to start thinking like a guidance counselor, because yeah, you remember that's what I'm supposed to be and everything. I mean, we remembered to put that in or something.
Yeah. I guess it was because we didn't listen in the start. Yeah, him being like,
Pretty sure they never
you didn't invite me and stuff like that. And Starlight didn't listen to him because she thought he was making maybe a joke. I don't know.
If she at least said, I took some time to think about it, then it would have been a little more believable, but this just did not work.
Yeah.
I agree with you. It's out of nothing. You're just like, okay, yeah.
It's like there's no build-up, so it's just
like
flip everything on its head.
And even for like that sort of type of thing, for like any sort of character that would be like quick thinking like this, and even though Starlight was like the advisor to Twilight in the premiere for this season, just being able to say all that, it's just this still feels like so unnatural that I'm just like dumbfounded and just be like, even looking back at the episode, Discord acts the way he is, and it's like the only way for you to come to that sort of conclusion is if you're super dedicated on Discord, make a lot of theses about it, and this episode just basically is like effectively being like, yes to your theory. I feel like it's only appeasing the Discord fans. And
that might be true, yeah.
It's what we've all feared. The show is gone so low as to pandering.
Hasn't it been on that for a while?
It's been a steady descent.
Yeah. With the bugbear and all of the other stuff as well. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was this episode one hardcore pandering. I won't give you that.
I seriously just wanted. Okay, and the result of all that pandering, only one good thing came out of it.
Debbie?
No, not that. I just honestly feel like Spike saying like, you know what? I don't want the position of power. I'm just matter of fine being like the advisor. And it's like, boom, Lance character. Lancer.
That was good. Yeah.
Literally all my favorite characters are just Lancer characters. And Spike has proven himself to be a Lancer. So it's like, God, so much confirmation here. So much.
Yeah. But at least we got some nice visuals.
Oh yeah, that's always good.
I mean, like, I feel like if this episode does gain the edge on what about Discord for me, and it does, that's just like it has a few more nice moments of just sheer entertainment or like decent characterization. I mean, what about Discord? Heck, even in the moments where it seemed like it was about to get to those, like what Twilight, yeah, breaking down and letting her real feelings out, or the idea that the moral could be like, okay, well, when you've missed out, you've missed out. You just have to accept it. Like, even in those, it's still sort of backpedaled it to, well, no, Discord really is the bad guy because he left Twilight out on purpose, or what, like, oh no, the Twilight's not going to learn the moral. She's going to randomly blame an evil spell and try to uncorrupt them. Like,
I don't know. Like, I actually like that episode, but before we go on a tangent, I think like we should maybe move on.
Well, here's the other thing I don't get. So it turns out that in the end, it was Discord that did this whole plot. He made the fake
that was
friendship
actually
problem.
funny, yeah.
And that was done with the intention of him. He wanted to be the, in Starlight's role, substituting for Twilight.
Yeah.
But why? Why did he want to do that? Was he trying to
because
prove
he
his
was
worth?
feeling left out, yeah.
It was never really
it's just kind of those random things they decided he would care about because hey, let's have a Discord like, I mean, I feel like, okay, what a lot of the time what I feel like the best plots versus the gimmicky ones come down to is whether it feels like the writer did this because they were really excited to get into some of the possibilities here, be they character or hijinks or whatever, versus where it seems like they did it because whatever the plot, whatever they're dragging out of the closet is a quote-unquote good excuse for a story like this. Like, hey, I know how to make a story I can put on television. Just
but I was actually thinking about like the
references and
I was thinking about like the Disney story with where she pricks her finger on the spinning wheel and stuff like that. The Maleficent, she's also not invited to the party, and she comes and put a spell on the baby and stuff like that. And it could all have been avoided if they just invited her to the party, right? So this is
Maleficent
like,
just needed the power of friendship, which it turned out she actually did if you saw that terrible movie.
Well, I didn't, but like I think like there's some similarities with this episode and that, because
well,
like Discord feels left out, and he also puts spells on stuff, like not that horrible spell, but still.
Well, Maleficent, you get the sense that she did it because she's Maleficent, so she needs to make sure that evil, it's an ego. No, not even because she's evil, that it's like an ego thing that everybody needs to know that. All right, you don't disrespect me because my thing is everybody needs to fear me. But I mean, Discord.
But Discord maybe have a little like of that as well, because he's still their friend, but he still wants like their respect and stuff like that.
Yeah, but the whole thing of feeling left out, where did that come from?
Yeah, that's a
why
good
now? Like, why
it
so
came
late
from
in the series?
Times they did it.
Yeah.
Hey, what if I randomly wanted to make Twilight run all over Equestria to prove she really is my friend? Except that was still sort of in question at the time, so at least there's a reason for that. Hey, what if I wanted to make Twilight feel left out to show that these are even more my friends than hers? What if I got jealous of... Oh, wait, Fluttershy is actually someone I would get jealous of, so... Hey, look at that. That plot was actually all right.
Yeah.
Jealous over rather than jealous of.
He just wants everything that he can have,
When he has, like, everything goes his way, then the episode suffers as a result. But when things don't go his way, then that's when things get interesting. It's Schadenfreude. It's honestly like, if you go opposite of Schadenfreude for Discord, the episode tends to lean on the bad side.
Yeah, I will agree with that.
Boom. You got yourself a believable conflict for a guy with as many powers as he can, but he can't magic himself a solution.
Yeah, that's true.
Hey,
So, yeah.
magic can't buy happiness, Discord.
Oh, that could actually have been a moral, yeah.
I feel like that should have been a lesson for Starlight.
Oh, yeah, that's true, yeah.
Discord's the
Oh,
character that
about it.
Starlight wants to be.
Yeah. Discord wants to be Twilight and Starlight.
But
Oh, what
I
the
don't
hell?
know.
All right.
Hey,
Any
this
other
is the
final-
season 8 I remember though so far.
No, I
All
think
right.
like it was okay, man. It's meh. Yeah.
Right.
Any other final? I just want to ask any other final thoughts before we move on to episode 15.
Okay. Just saying this right now. Yeah, season 6 is starting to look a bit brighter right now in my eyes.
Ooh.
I'm
The burn.
It's.
Hmm.
I mean, just this. I don't even know. Just there's only like few bright spots here and there, but it's like,
But
A little
this is
meh,
like,
yeah.
no greater amount of bright spots than season 6 had, and somehow it seems like even more low points.
Yeah.
and since we already hit the low point quota with episode 3, yeah.
I will not
This
comment
is-
that.
What was
Let's
it?
just move on before I go on a tangent.
Okay.
All right.
Oh, I remember episode 3 now. Oh, God.
This one, I mean, it's better than that. I don't know if I go all the way to a thumbs down on this one.
What was the episode 3
like-
again? Remember?
Oh, you
Like-
know.
Stick in the mud
Mod.
guy.
Oh yeah, Mod.
Yeah.
That episode had a more stable story, but everything along
Yeah.
the way was just just.
No, I liked it. But I'm the only one, so let's just move on before.
Oh yeah, let's move on before we say something you don't like, huh?
I don't care. I'm going to fight for it.
This is the point in which we wish the mid-season summary was actually done now.
Yeah.
All right. Does everyone have episode 15 up?
Yes.
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 All right.
It's a Christmas episode.
Oh, God.
Christmas.
Christmas. In
It's in
August.
July.
In the
I mean,
middle of
August.
summer,
It's
yeah.
the middle of it.
It's super guys. Wow.
Come on,
Everyone
you
press-
know that.
Everyone press play and. All right.
Come
Is
on.
everyone ready?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Press play in 3, 2, 1, play.
It's Christmas in August.
They can never get that Christmas in July cliche down.
They just missed July.
Sandbar.
Every creature sing.
Sing, damn it.
Oh, thank God.
I demand.
La 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 la.
Oh, he's so cute.
Oh, of course it's the
Thank you for
pony.
saying
That's
that.
cute.
Wait, no. Yeah, dragons don't do pony holidays.
Oh, really?
I love Hearthswarming Eve. It's all about
Yeah.
friends, presents, and family, and presents.
Yeah, we get it. Spike.
Spike, get away from the presents.
Pegasi and
Yeah.
unicorns did on the first holiday.
Oh,
Ooh.
is that why you put their fire of friendship on top of the tree to help us remember their
Ooh, that's nice.
Oh,
Ooh, isn't that burning the tree? Oh, never mind.
Not that I don't like the other
Right.
ones. Tuesdays are great.
Yay, Tuesdays.
I don't like any day that is start of winter break.
2 whole weeks without classes.
American education
I
system.
think you'll all
Yeah.
enjoy the time off to be home
Oi.
with your families to celebrate your own traditions. Attention,
Oh,
everyone,
that's nice.
School is officially out. Happy holidays, and we'll see you after the break.
Yay.
And for those of you traveling outside Equestria, yeah, shouldn't you guys be getting ready to go? If you miss
Yeah.
the train, it's a really long walk. Go pack up, and we'll take you to the station. Oh,
Oh, that's nice.
Hmm.
Spike. Spike.
New
Oh.
bow tie I wanted, isn't it?
Oh.
We'll have to wait and see.
Oh, call back to season 1.
Uh-oh.
Who's that?
Headed pony. Headed pony.
There's somebody making hijinks. No! What? Oh no.
Oh,
Oh. It's the Grinch.
No.
It's the Grinch.
Saboteur. Okay.
Yeah.
So we have an active Grinch this time. All right.
Yeah.
Or just Christmas villain.
Yeah. But is the heart magic? Is it like with Christmas spirit or what?
It's
What?
No,
magic
it's not-
fire.
It's magical friendship.
Oh, okay. In fire form, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. It's a little... Yay! Let's go.
Christmas episode.
Okay.
Goo.
Oh.
Wow.
Okay, that's some
Nothing can
strong.
stop the smooth.
What's happened?
Yeah. Or gag.
No!
I'm so sorry you know that.
Why would you bring back the season 3 memes?
I don't know.
Outside.
Oh, like that look here. Is it the T-Rex?
What?
Yeah, like the shape and stuff like that.
Whoever you are, we got you cornered. Hello?
Oh,
Is any pony there?
no, it's a student. Okay, yeah.
What's happening?
Oh, it could have been so interesting if it was T-Rex, yeah.
We got a mystery to solve.
Oh yeah, all of us did.
Oh God, it's a Christmas whodunit.
After that.
Yeah.
Did you hear anything?
And at the same time as Rarity investigates as well in the episode numbers.
This
Yeah.
is like the real appeal of the Hearthwarming episode, seeing which Christmas plot they're gonna pull out.
We saw them. Whoever did what?
Whoa, that is so not cool.
First primary suspect is Sandbar.
No one came out.
Oh.
You are still here.
Mm.
One of you must have done this.
Or maybe it's not the students, yeah? Maybe I'm right, yeah? Oh.
Not do this. You're not offended by accusations.
If it is one of them, it will be along the plot line of I didn't want all my friends to leave for 2 weeks. Wouldn't place bets on that.
Or if it
think
is
it
T-Rex,
is.
yeah, they're going to like take him down. But I don't know why he would do that.
Wow.
If you did this, raise your hoof or claw.
Suspicion.
Or whatever.
Yeah. No.
Come on, Spike. Looks like we have to. Spike, you can open your eyes.
Oh, was it Spike that did it?
What about me? You
Spike was literally there.
Yeah.
But since no creature took responsibility for this mess, you're all gonna have to help clean it up before you can go home.
Oh. Okay, yeah.
That's how that works.
Why do I have to stay?
Oh, but the holidays.
You live right next to town.
While you're
Yeah.
cleaning, we'll bring you into my office one at a time. Since honesty is one of the elements of harmony, we want to give you each a chance to tell us the truth.
Twilight, the last time you tried to be like
Wait, what
interrogating the truth.
are we gonna do exactly?
CMC
What the-
episode.
The guilty
CMC
puppy won't be going
episode.
home over Hearth-swarming break.
I
What?
don't know if you have the power to do that.
But
Or at least
like
in
that's
theory.
really too much, yeah.
Then, I guess there's no holidays for any creature.
What?
Wow.
Over the break.
Wow.
Hey, that's
Seriously.
harsh.
Oh,
Twilight.
boy.
Can the school do that?
Maybe. I don't
Well,
know.
what is
Somebody's gonna pull out some example from somewhere, sometime where that was.
Well, it's
Totally
a school
allowed.
that is. It is a school that is a kingdom unto itself with a
Yeah.
dictator's leader. So
We can make a game out of this. See who finishes cleaning up first.
Aw.
Sweet.
Oh,
Sweet.
boy.
Mm.
Save time and cut to the chase. Which one of you did it? I would never do something this horrible. I love Hearth-Swarming Eve, and
I do. I'm just going home for it.
Wow.
I didn't even know changelings celebrated Hearth's warming.
Oh.
It's our favorite holiday. Well, since Henry she gave our hive
Last
very
year?
instructions.
This has been that long now?
Probably,
I
yeah.
have so many questions, but yeah.
Okay, let's see what happens right after the changelings turn good.
Pony history.
Yeah.
Start the holidays by putting the tree up.
Oh my god!
Before they just fed out of love and. Oh! That was nice.
Some holiday punch.
Oh, but
Ah.
That is both intriguing and horrifying at once.
Oh.
It doesn't say how long.
Waka waka.
And to finish celebrating, you can build a fire, light it up, and sing carols.
But
Oh. Oh, that's so sweet, yeah.
Oh my god. Ineptitude of
You might have
changelings.
misunderstood things just a little.
We may not have done everything exactly the way you do, but we made our own traditions. And I can't wait
Oh,
to do
that's
it all again.
cool, yeah.
If we ever
That's
get out
cute.
of here.
Yeah.
Your turn.
Well, okay, now we're calling people.
Yeah.
why don't you just do it that way from the start?
What happened?
Mm.
What do you think happened? I told her I didn't do it.
Mm.
Waiting! Yak's always home for holidays.
How do you celebrate Hearth's warming in Yakistan, yo?
You're smashing everything, I bet.
Holiday much better. It's called Snowdog Fest.
Oh, the DWW is making the PC holiday episode.
Yay!
In afternoon,
We need to have like different
So,
holidays,
it's
yeah.
just about smashing stuff, like all your other holidays.
Mm.
No? How Griffin get that idea? This holiday about so much more. Last year, for example, most perfect Snildar ever.
Ooh.
All family. Grandpa, Grandma Yak. Yona's
Oh, they're so cute.
mother, father Yak. All go to
We've
work.
seen
Oh.
brother and sister before.
Yeah.
Look at Yona without any hair bands.
Yeah.
Guessing these songs didn't take much time to write.
I get
Glenn
the
was on
first
vacation.
one. I get the changeling one, the joke behind it, but it feels like they're misusing the joke here.
Maybe.
Then Yak smash it.
Yeah, of course.
Then Yak family built perfect snow fort.
Mm.
And smash it.
Oh no.
That was more disappointing.
Then we hang perfect things on perfect moss pile and
Smash
smash it.
No.
What do you think Yaks are? Barbarians?
Oh, well, that's a term.
Yeah.
Ritual for Yona. All Yak family
Yeah,
gather
moss is what you don't smash.
and bring Yona.
Oh, she's becoming grown up. That's so
Oh, wow.
cute. Aww.
So, to recap, your holiday is about smashing things and family.
Two
Mm.
most perfect things ever put together. Happy Snildar Fest!
Let's go. Let's go.
Mm.
Happy Snildar to you too, Yona. It's so cool to learn new traditions from new friends.
I refer you to my sarcastic comment from before.
Well, these new friends has gotten us all in trouble, and they better confess soon. Sambar? Sorry, but they said they want you to go in next.
Mm.
Why the rush to get home, Smolder? Like you said, dragons don't really have holidays.
Oh yeah, that's true, yeah. Why do you want to go home then, yeah?
So sad. You must do something in the winter for fun.
Hmm.
Well, we do have the Feast of Fire.
Ooh.
Every dragon gets together and tells stories.
That sounds cool.
One wins a pile of gemstones. Ooh, what story won last year? It was called A Dream Come True. Come on, now you've got to tell it. Fine. Once upon a time, there was this sad little dragon.
Oh.
Oh my god.
She lived alone in the wilderness.
New character design for the fan of the craze over.
Yeah.
As she sat alone in the storm, she heard something.
She kind of reminds me about Cassie from Dragon Tail. Oh!
Oh.
Look
The
at
Dragon
this.
Lord told her not to be afraid, that he was taking her to the Dragonlands for a great feast.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's nice.
Scales sat with the Dragon Lord's family and friends and had the biggest, best dinner of gemstones she'd ever eaten. Then, while the dragons were telling stories, Scales thought it would be so easy.
Oh! Oh! Oh!
She said
Oh my god!
Okay, yeah.
Wow!
Oh, yeah.
This is true.
Dang.
Dragons.
You, but dragons like hearing about weak kind creatures.
Wow.
Okay, already the most inventive thing I've seen in a children's cartoon.
Yeah.
Oh, and they're still not throwing out the dragons or douches approach.
Oh yeah, absolutely not.
You already live in Ponyville. Staying here over break is no big deal.
Yeah.
School of Friendship, good place for Pony to have pony holiday.
Mm-hmm.
I'd still rather spend it with my family at home. Oh, that reminds me. I have the best holiday story ever.
Okay.
It's called The Day My Heartwarming Doll Almost Fell into the Fire.
Ah, okay.
Just before we went to bed, my mom, my dad, and my sister all put our heartwarming dolls up on the mantle, just like we do every year. But this year, I put my doll too close to the edge, and it fell.
Her pony problems.
My doll hit the floor, but it could have gone in the fire.
Wow.
That's a great story. And you told her.
3 out of 4 have been boring.
It was a heartwarming miracle.
Smolder, come with
Oh, that was really quick, yeah.
Twilight's waiting for you.
Oh, they're taking 2 in at a time now.
The last 2.
Maybe they're putting it together like a mystery.
That means
Yeah.
we're never going home.
And then
Well, they didn't have enough time for all this.
Beyond forever.
Witness the 3
Okay.
days of freedom celebration.
How long does that last?
It used to be only 1 day, but now to commemorate our escape from the Storm King, we're adding 2 more days of awesome!
Oh, really?
There's a book?
Queen Novo had these made for the Mount Forest Board of Tourism to explain it all to guests. We'll spend the first night in Sequestria, thanking the ocean for protecting us from the Storm King.
Alrighty
Sea
then.
dancing, whale singing,
Aww.
shell stringing, lots of things. The second day will be on Mount Eris with sky dancing and a whale
Aw.
song at Harmonizing Heights.
Harmony
to celebrate
Heights.
Storm King's defeat.
Yeah.
Then the third day,
That's so cute.
every creature will party together on land and sea. Grandparents and parents and sisters, uncles, brothers, acquaintances.
Oh, okay.
and cousins. And at the end of the night, Queen Novo is gonna give out presents.
Oh, that's really nice.
Wait, hold on. Cousins?
Your aunts and uncles' children?
Oh,
Your family?
he doesn't have family.
Oh, you're teasing
Um,
us again,
What?
I'm guessing neither
Are
one of
Griffins even sadder than you would think?
right? And their Twilight say wait here.
Maybe.
Changing their minds about sending us home.
Why would they? Face it, we're stuck here.
But
Aw.
to go home.
No.
Oh, don't cry.
That makes the best kelp fritters.
Oh.
How can you be so cool about this?
We're mad. We just show it differently.
More like you don't show it.
Wow.
What Pony getting at?
Maybe it wasn't just one prankster. Maybe there were 3 of you. And you're trying to hide your guilt by not being upset.
Well, nobody
Does make sense.
said like it's easy to
Guys,
show
stop it.
emotions for
Or
everybody.
maybe whoever did it is only pretending.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
Me? But I didn't.
Yeah.
Come on, let it go.
I would never do
No.
Come on, Ocellus, you know you did it. Just fess up.
Okay, that was a weird audible line.
Shoot.
I said stop fighting!
Oh,
That's not what the holidays are about.
oh, that's true.
No matter what you call them, or how you celebrate.
It's time for the big speech.
Do you know how lucky you
And
are?
probably the big
Stories
confession.
about sharing and kindness and getting together with every creature that you care about.
Oh,
But griffins do that too, don't they? Some holiday about a moon?
Blue Moon Festival. The one time of year when griffins are nice to each
oh,
other.
really?
Well, as nice as we can be.
Oh.
Families get together.
Oh!
And give each other presents they don't like. And mostly just try not to yell at each other.
Well, at least you get to be with your family.
No. Because I don't
What?
Oh no.
Actual orphan.
That's just his name. He's not any Griff's
We
actual.
know that Gabby and Gilda aren't related. She's just Gilda's male
Felt like I
pony.
never had a place in Griffinstone.
Okay, so we got an actual confirmed orphan.
When I came
Yeah.
here, well, I met all of you. So I don't want to go home for the break. And that's why I did it.
Mm.
Griffin mess up decorations?
Yeah, it was me. I put goo powder in the fire of friendship.
Good powder.
So it wasn't Ocellus?
Wow!
Yeah.
Sandbar, you really have it out for her.
I didn't plan to.
Yeah, I think she likes her.
Teachers would make us stay to clean up. Be together a little longer.
Well, it worked, didn't it?
Better than I thought. And when Headmare Twilight threatened to cancel winter break, that meant I would get to be with all of you through the entire holiday.
Aw.
That's why I didn't confess.
Wow.
So why are you admitting this now?
I hated seeing all you fighting and blaming each other. That's the opposite of what all your holidays mean.
This is kind of a.
Keep all of you from the happiness of your
This is
homes
kind of a
and
show
family
don't
just
tell
because I
bit of
feel bad.
character development, or a tell don't show rather.
Sorry. Don't
Yeah.
worry. You won't have to tell
That's
our
still good,
teachers.
yeah.
I will.
You don't have to.
We over.
We already
Yeah.
know. We kinda guessed.
Wow.
But we wanted to give you the chance.
Wow.
I'm proud that you did. And I'm glad to see you've been paying attention in Professor Applejack's honesty
Like,
classes.
nobody knows how to be
But you're
honest
still
without
gonna
a
have to make
class.
amends And stay
Uh-uh.
on for extra friendship lessons. By yourself. I'll stay with
What?
him.
Mm.
Me too.
Wow.
Yona, stay also.
I'm staying.
All right. I guess pony holidays can't be that bad.
Mm.
Now you can finally know what it's like to spend hearts warming with friends.
So
and care
sorry,
about.
all of our families.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Need any extra lessons?
Eh.
Since you obviously
Only
like
sandbars,
is about coming together, I'd
right?
be honored if all of you would join my friends as guests at our holiday table. After we finish cleaning up.
Shouldn't Griffin guy be the only one cleaning up?
Hey, this reminds
Well,
me of another story.
it goes faster if they all pitch in.
It's not their fault though.
Does it have a depressing ending? I'm not sure pony stories are
Pony's so
There was this one time with my buddy Keith.
Dallas wants Yona braid feathers?
Pass.
Heartwarming!
Yay! Woo! There we go. Yeah, that was
Okay.
good.
I could
That was a lot better.
It was better, yeah.
This
I mean, I really did. I felt it was sort of okay, and then like the really reveal at the end of why. Gosh, I can't remember his name.
Gallus.
Griffin.
Gallus.
Gallus. The reason behind Gallus's action, I felt added so much to his character that I felt it really like rebounded this episode into being one of the better ones of the season so far.
Yeah, it's one of the better ones. Not the best, but
I'm not saying the best. I'm saying in the better category.
Yeah,
that's true.
I could safely say, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that this is basically, well, second best heartwarming episode. I mean, like, it's kind of like
What's your favorite?
Hearthbreakers.
Yes, me too.
Yeah.
Wait, was that the first one or the second one?
No, Heartbreakers is Applejack Pinkie Pie family.
Yes, the second one.
Oh, the third one. Oh, I'm good.
The third one was Christmas Carol, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh,
third
Christmas
one,
Carol is also good, yeah.
That's funny too. Applejack, because it's the one where we learned the backstory, the Pinkie Pie Applejack one, the Christmas Carol one, and now this one, right? Am I missing any?
Yeah.
No, you're definitely not missing any.
Yeah.
I just.
There's actually surprising. Like, I was like, there's actually surprising good amount of Hearthworthy episodes now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
One for every 2 seasons.
Yeah, but one of them should have like.
We need more. I think we need more. Oh gosh, what's the Halloween one? Fright Night or?
Nightmare
Night. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we need more Nightmare Night episodes to counter it because
I think we're going to get that, yeah.
We've got the Luna Eclipse one, the Fluttershy one, and for some reason I remember there being one more. Is that it?
There's only
that's
two.
it. And then from the synopsis, it didn't look like we're getting one this season.
Yeah, like the reason why you might think there might be a third one is only because of Rainbow Dash's 28 pranks later.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
Maybe I just I thought I remember them referencing it, but it not actually playing a major role.
Might have been the comics.
Yeah, it might have been the comics.
Maybe.
Yeah, because I was saying like that. I feel I was like because both of those episodes are some of the best of the season. Heartworthy episodes feel the biggest issue of these episodes. They sort of can be a little dry because it's sort of like they're doing Christmas episodes, but it's like discount Christmas episodes. That makes sense.
Well, it's still like good, yeah.
Well, I mean, it's like they take another sort of Christmas plot like out of the closet, and I mean, like I'm honestly where the last episode, the one we just watched, was a bundle of the season 8, like the typical reasons season 8 is letting me down a little bit. This one was just sort of the Hearth's warming episode, like another familiar sort of Christmas plot, some cute songs, some character interaction that this would provide, some stilted storytelling, some genuine feels, and I mean all packaged into a solid but unspectacular episode, I'd have to say.
Well, that's still a feel good episode, yeah.
I mean, like I said, they're all a little bit feel good. Although, honestly, if I had to say, I guess my take on them, I mean, my favorite to least might actually also be the chronological order. I feel like they just kind of lose a slight edge over time. But
I don't think that's true. I really like my favorite is the one with the where they're taking
Applejack and Pinkie Pie. Oh, it's the Christmas Carol one.
Yeah, Christmas Carol, yeah, and then the Applejack and then
that
this,
one, that's one where I might actually agree with DC and say discount Christmas Carol.
Yeah, like that one, Christmas Carol one is like the animation. Let me just say the animation sequences were gorgeous, but like the overall story just was just sort of like meh.
I mean, it's been a long time.
I think I remember my big issue with it was like they made a big issue about Starlight not being like, not that he was like being a Grinch about it, but just being like, oh, this is the best holiday ever sort of thing, which just felt disingenuous or something like that.
Yeah,
but we were going to talk about this episode, right?
Starlight was not Scrooge. And but like I feel like, I mean, the first one I felt like had some pretty good feels to it. I mean, my only really problem, I guess, was that it's a little, well, the way they played it, at least, it's a little hard to get like invested in a story that is, I mean, it's not like that's the side note and it's still about our main characters. No, it's about characters we've never seen before and played as. So, but I mean, like, harder to get invested in, but still, I felt like it was solid all the way across. The Applejack Pinkie Pie thing, that got a little played up, I guess. But
that's not something for you. Yeah, we get
rock soup. What about the heartwarming food? What about this heartwarming food? What about this heartwarming food? Nope, rock soup. Oh, actually, this is what we wanted, right, every pony?
Yeah. But remember, like, not all ponies are fortunate enough to eat like good food.
Yeah, I don't even know if that was. Well, I mean, just the way, like, if you want to tell me there's a reason for it rooted in some real world parallel, fine, but don't play it all stilted and expected me to say that you just showed me some masterclass writing. But
No, I didn't say that. I know you were going to talk about this one. Yeah.
Well, if you would stop cutting me off, I could get to that. So, but yeah, this one, okay, so same as kind of why just a play about totally different characters or a Christmas Carol parallel can only get so much mileage. I mean, it's a montage of mini stories. You're not really supposed to it's not really supposed to build a lot of momentum for you. It's just kind of supposed to pass the time, give you a lot of different things to be entertained by, and yeah. Already forgot his name again, Griffin. I felt like they kind of maybe not. Well, what's the word for how they broke out his character development at the end? They
expositioning.
Well, it's not. I guess they didn't really give a sense of progressing into that point. They just sort of tried to, gloss over what might kind of break him down, break him out of his shell there, and just tell us no, he does care about all of this stuff. He cares about what the holidays are about, and or he cares about his friends fighting. I felt like that could have been stronger if there was sort of a progression to it. If we'd showed stuff sort of breaking him down out of his shell, and instead of just wait, no, maybe he cares. Maybe he cares. He does. Although I will grant it, though, that is in spite of that, it does manage to be one of the moments that gives off some sweet holiday feeling, it's just, that's where I say it could have been stronger, if it had gone the show don't tell approach instead of having him kind of just say the moral a few times, that's not what the holidays are about. You're so lucky you all have families to go to, and I don't have a family.
I still think about this little match girl, yeah. We had that discussion.
You see a little match girl parallel here?
Yeah, a little bit, yeah. But I actually think it's really good, we have these different kinds of stories, because, as Jonas said, we hold Christmas different and stuff like that, yeah.
I guess right now, from the Christmas stories, Celis gets a lot of endearing points. Yona is just the same, with culture.
I think actually they had a really, really nice undertone of her actually becoming a grown-up, yeah, with them binding stuff in her hair and stuff like that. Or maybe it's just me, yeah. So they're celebrating her becoming a woman, as well as the Christmas stuff, yeah.
I will
so that's the ritual you have to go through when you grow up as a yak. I don't know. I will just hide in my corner.
I won't say that was moving or anything, but I thought it was cute.
Yeah, it was cute. Yeah, it was moving for me. Yes.
Anybody else fall on the scale somewhere between moving and cute, or below that?
What are you talking about? The whole episode or the yak part?
Yona thing, Yona yak.
Lower than moving and cute.
Yeah.
Not even cute. How about that?
Overall, I felt I enjoyed how they, even though it's weird, I feel these stories were not as good as I think it was last season with the
with the pillars.
Yeah, the pillar story that was like in that one montage episode.
Oh,
Like
the,
those stories
Fire
were better.
Tales.
Yeah, Fire
well,
Tale. The
Rarities
story.
was better. The rest of them might have been on par.
yeah.
No, I think
I
they're
will agree.
overall. I think they're overall better, at least a bit, maybe because they're slightly longer. But I felt the overall like narrative that's the framework of the episode is so much stronger here. Like it feel like the episode, like all the little stories are just that like little mini story that is supposed to basically paint a mood. They're not really supposed to be like some grand tale or something. Like, so it still works the way they are. It's hard to describe, but like I felt like they were just nice little cute mini stories, like super mini stories that like just I felt overall helped the grander narrative of like the holiday episode.
Yeah. So almost like the Christmas shorts story.
Well, okay. I mean, to be fair, the last season episode with the montage, I feel like the attempts to have that somehow serve the greater narrative kind of fell flat. Like they felt kind of obligatory to me. But I don't know. This one though, I mean, like, which ironically though, I like as far as the excuses to tell the stories, like, okay, you get trapped in a space together for a while, like, why not tell stories? Simple, makes sense, it's fine. I mean, it's like an excuse to tell a bunch of stories, nothing more, nothing less. This is like, okay, there's a holiday whodunit conflict, and well, they're all in a room together, so maybe they would start telling stories. That's one where I start to go like, no, you just wanted to have a montage of stories in this episode.
Yeah, I guess so. That's still nice. And I like the dragons and the she's a hippogriff, right? Yeah, hippogriff's a story. Yeah.
I don't know.
That's my favorites.
It would be more on my game if the episode before this hadn't caused me to check out a little bit.
Come on, get back in the game. It's Christmas.
Well, I mean, no, like this is, yeah, definitely better than the last one, and yeah, it's Christmas in August, and I mean, I like this one, which for this season that's been much less of a guarantee than it usually is. So I mean, that's important too. It's just like I almost like. It's hard to even feel like that's significant though, because this one, at least to me, is just such an MLP holiday episode. Just like it, I mean, it's like plot wise, it's. I mean, I get yeah, it's not the same plot, and yet, I mean, it just totally checks all the boxes to me, like a common Christmas sort of approach, a common Christmas plot, check, a kind of Christmas plot that is perfectly pleasant and even packs some feeling, but like is at the same time never rises above the confines of its plot. It's just a solid holiday episode. Check. Focuses on characters that are a bit outside the usual realm of focus. Check. It even has the thing telling stories that supersede the quote unquote main character's plot a bit. I don't know. I mean, I guess I said that the whole losing an edge thing over time. I mean, I don't know, this or A Christmas Carol. Like, I guess one of them would have to be my least favorite, just because of the kind of stilted points. But all four of them, I feel like there's really not much difference between them. It's like, got my holiday episode for the season. Okay, next.
Yay. Oh yeah.
Although it sounds like, to be fair, nobody else has much else to say either.
I was going to say, like, right now, like, this episode is kind of cemented like a bit of like an echelon for like this student 6 right now, which like Gallus now has a bit of a lead over Smolder right now, while Smolder is still somewhat interesting thanks to dragon culture of like reversing on like stories about like, oh hey, you wanted to see the story about generosity leading to the defeat of a dragon lord for a higher power stuff. I'm just like, oh my god, this is awesome.
I mean, yeah. To be fair, like with all the kind of bland sweetness this show likes to use, I mean that was kind of a refreshing change of pace almost.
And it's like the coloration of that dragon was like it was reminding me a lot about Cassie from Dragon Tales, if you remember that show.
Yeah,
I do.
I'm just it's just really funny having that mental thought. It's like, hey, let's call her Cassie.
Actually, with that title, the Hearth Warming Club, you do kind of now I suddenly see what they're going for here. Like,
oh my god,
they're
it's
all
so
locked up together and talking to each other and growing together. Like,
oh my goodness.
I don't know. Like, I mean, I felt like, what I said before, like the show don't tell thing about the end, I still stand by that. But I mean, that is probably one of the few moments for me where it genuinely started to feel like that. Like you get the sense of these characters starting to feel for each other. I almost wish it had been like it had found a way to play that note a little stronger throughout.
I gotcha. But then again, we have to manufacture conflict to destroy the sense of trust they had in each other and to find the liar reveal. And it's like I feel like this episode was kind of like a better example of like what should have happened in Marks for Effort in a lot of ways. Just
Marks for Effort?
You know, the CMC episode.
Yeah.
The cutie pie pony who it turned out framed them.
Yeah.
You know, this is better than that.
Yeah, literally, it's like I keep on going back to that episode just because, like, well, looks like they're actually being investigative and being like, we have consequences. And even though in the end, it's like, oh, one of you is supposed to have, like, the consequence, but it's like, oh, we all decided to stay and all decided to help, but they didn't really communicate that. So that kind of left a bit of the disjointedness to, like, the punishment and such. But overall, it's like...
That could have actually carried a lot more weight, too, if we'd seen them, like, calling up their homes or some such, like, hey, I think I'm going to stay in the school this year. Yeah, I know I'm going to miss you guys, too, but...
yeah,
like, actual use of phone calls in a productive way, unlike last episode.
Yeah.
But just like, like emphasize that that's a sacrifice, but these two are willing to be these six are willing to be all each other has for a holiday.
Yeah.
And that's actually, you know what? That's another way this is a perfectly adequate holiday episode. All of them make me want the better episode that all of them could have been. They're all just good enough to make me want that.
Hey, you want to know something else that's going to be interesting now with like the fandom?
What?
We no longer have to talk down to Scootaloo anymore.
That's right.
It's Gallus' time to be coddled. You sweet boy, bird. Don't worry. We'll find it.
Except everyone will keep forgetting his name.
Yeah.
I still remember it because...
It is a lot tougher to remember. It's not as
easy.
marketable.
Not as trademarked.
I mean, like, the students... the student six's names are basically like, oh, let's just be fancy and end our names with like US's for half of us.
I mean, I will give them credit with Gallus, like his standoffish sort of personality. It is convincing, and I guess we've gotten sparse hints that there's like a little bit of a heart under there too. But like if they want to go that route, that like he's the outwardly nice guy who's actually tight. A lot more sentimental than being a griffin allows him to be. It's like, okay, then, I mean, if you want that to be as strong as it could be, you might have to find a way to work it out of him a little more naturally. Just having him, like, suddenly blurt it out like you did here, it might the crowd a little more.
It also kind of felt a bit awkward looking at Gallus's flashback and just seeing, like, Gabby with Gilda just...
Yeah, I was gonna say The griffins are like almost extinct. It seems like
Yeah.
there's so
One town of them.
there's such a small number of them.
I mean, like, we only
Maybe
know
they're
about like 5 central Griffin characters.
Yeah.
That's really sad.
Actually, I'm thinking about a theory I'm going to make after this.
I just feel like the Griffins got like the short end of the staff because it's like, hey, remember when they were big stuff, big shit, when like dragons were just basically like these giant monsters, but now we have teenage dragons and like Griffins are being like the discounted version of dragons right now, even with the Student 6's depictions.
Well, I'll give you the dragons. The griffins, Gabby notwithstanding, I might actually side with them. I feel like this is the one time I'll say that reining it in maybe helps a little bit. I feel like they're the more nuanced version of dragons right now.
Yeah. It's like Gilda definitely like started out weak with like a 90s slang, but also had the interesting backdrop of like Rainbow Dash's oldest friend.
Yeah.
Even the 90s slang kind of helped it come across as the act that it was, like Gilda being this poser, I guess, who was more interested in talking down to other characters than she was in actually making friends.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, like compared to a lot of the bully characters of the show, it felt, well, at the very least, more real. I'd have to say, like I bought it more than the who was it I'm thinking of? The not the 3 rainbow, well, a little bit the 3 Rainbow Dash bullies because they got a little cheesy at points, but who was it that?
The
Wow.
Fluttershy bullies.
Those are the same characters I just said.
Oh.
Well, heck, the dragons from the teenage dragons.
Oh yeah, the teenage dragons. Yeah,
like they were
with the egg and stuff like that.
Shit, well, they were basically that, but like taken to the most borderline Beavis and Butthead extremes possible. Oh yeah, the dragons do teenage boy things like having gross out contests with each other and wrestling and killing small animals.
It's
calling everything lame and babies and.
It's like moments like this that you realize, like, even when they try to restore like any sort of credibility like the dragons have in the show, they're still like being like, we have to keep it in continuity even though it really hurts. Like this antagonistic mood, even though it led to like a funny joke this episode, it's like
it's really just that one episode that kind of made the dragons lame like that.
Yeah, like
although I won't say that the all the other episodes after worked very hard to course correct.
Yeah, but like for the Griffins, it's like excluding Gabby's introduction episode, they certainly have been a lot of interesting characters, like for antagonists / performing them. Trying to showcase like different characters, feeling like a ball out Equestria setting. It's like right now, it's like if they even got back into power, like how would they be able to like get themselves like a monarchy or any sort of like government? Because it's like the dragon didn't even have that over them, and that's even sadder. Even sadder. Oh, wait a minute. I have an idea. Let's vote Dallas for new king of Griffins.
Yeah.
Then he could be the Hokage, in which he could be Naruto, and it's like this is my family. This is my family because I've been watching Boruto. Oh god. I guess we ran out of this well for that episode.
Yeah.
I just wanted to ask one thing. So, what are your thoughts this episode compared to, I guess, for those who've seen on this episode and another Holiday episode? How did this compare to the Star versus Holiday episode?
Star versus was a bit stronger.
I've already forgotten how the Star versus episode even went. It was like something with a whodunit and a Tom trying to be a good boyfriend for Star, or trying to.
It was a nightmarish episode. It was a nightmarish episode.
Is it the one with the log that is taking over everything?
The log.
Yeah, I love that because like I just remember like we're screaming like no, not that.
I mean, I don't know. Star versus seems to kind of be hitting a skid for me lately, but no, didn't I like that episode just fine?
Yes, you did. You liked it.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I have a feeling that if I saw it again, I'd say they were comparable, like both solid but unspectacular.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I would rather see the Star versus, but that's also because I like the log. Yeah, think that's funny. Yeah, because it's actually based on a real in real life holiday. I know like the ones we saw here is also based on real life stuff, but the taking a log into your living room and actually like doing stuff with it is something that's real. Yeah,
Interesting.
yeah. My grandma once made like this log to eat, like it was a cake. Yeah, so interesting.
You mean like a log, like a log of wood?
Well, like it was looking like a log of wood, but it was like chocolate cake.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's how we eat logs here. We also have like these small with marzipan stuff. I think you had those second, right? That's called logs as well, yeah.
Right, yeah.
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 We used that at Christmas too, yeah. I just still think it's really nice. We had the different kinds of Christmas, how to hold your Christmas, celebrate Christmas.
All right. But I guess any other final thoughts in this episode?
No, not really.
This is nice.
I think I said it all.
Merry Christmas.
Alice +1.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah.
First episode, I feel like I'm on the verge of a thumbs down, like a D+ or a C-. I'll give this one a solid B.
Yeah, this was definitely better. Yeah.
Yeah.
And a lot of nice visuals in this as well. Yeah.
Sure.
Mm-hmm. Yay.
All right. I guess with that said, see y'all next week.
Yay. Happy holidays.
We're back on schedule.
Here we go.